and get this chaos out of my life. I'm so excited to move on. It's been a thorn in my side for about 4.5 years, and I dread it every single time I look at it. So. Hello, sweet friends. It's Sarah at Crochet.With.Coffee, and thank you so much for joining me for another Monday chat. I have my iced coffee here today. I have some whipped cream on top. I've got chocolate that fell to the bottom, but it's going to be delicious, and I know it. So grab your coffee, your tea, your beverage of whatever sort. Let's chat. I have so much to tell you about this week. So you all know I've been working through my whips that I've been trying to whittle down one by one, slowly and painfully, because there's some that I just didn't want to work on. But let's talk about those. So I had just a few left on my list. I do have that cross stitch that is still going to stay on my list for probably a while until I get the urge to do a different type of craft, because every once in a while I get that little itch that I need to do something different. What do I have to share today? It's a lot, and I'm excited about it because there's so much going on. As I whittle down these projects, I'm going to share the ones that I have completed or that are no longer on my list, I guess I should say. You probably know what that means. All right, so anyway, this bed runner, it's not 100% complete, but it is at the point that I need to start filming the tutorial for it. So it is as done as it will be until I can film for this. And this is going to come out after our crochet along that is on our Fridays, our Friday episodes. So I just want to give you a sneak peek. Now this one is for a king, but I will in the tutorial have all the information and yardage and all that stuff on how to make smaller size. I'm going to put on a twin, a queen, a full, no, that's out of order, king, California king, all that. So this is what it's looking like. I'm really happy with this one. So you can see all of these squares. You can see that the third row here, this one, is going to be changing color throughout. See if I can get a good view of that. Isn't it so pretty? Oh my goodness. All right, so this bed runner, like I said, it's at the point of being filmed. So it is as done as it will be until filming is complete. So that is the bed runner that we're going to do. I have some little picots on the edge. I'm so thrilled with this one. It is going to be so pretty. Oh my goodness. I just want to stare at it. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, so anyway, that one I am considering done because I only have the recording left to do, and I mean, that's incredible, but we're still in the process of the crochet along. So there's only so much I can do as far as that goes. But because it is being held back by that, I am counting that one as finished. Okay, now the next thing. So I was also working on that blanket that had all the little squares of the thrifted yarn that I got, the yellow and brown and variegated brown with blue in it. And so it looks like that. But let me show you. This one is completed because I changed what it's going to be. I made a decision that I decided it was no longer going to be a blanket, but it was going to be a bag. What do you think? I'm happy with it. I think it's adorable. So I am contemplating on if I want to put a liner in this one. Don't know what I'm going to do with that, but I did make it in a way that would allow to put a liner in it really easily. So that is what it is. Yes, those two ended up together, but that's the only time it ended up, the same color ended up touching, but it's unique. So we're rolling with it. But that is the bag that we ended up making instead of the blanket because my patience was wearing thin with this. I didn't want to dread making something, which brings me to the next project. I'm going to show you a little bit of what I did yesterday going along with this blanket. So this blanket was the Yarnspirations. I'll put it in the description. It's a braided cable crochet blanket, and it's very, very pretty. And I was making it with velvet yarn, so the Bernat velvet yarn. I was making the blanket out of that. But let me share a little bit of that with you with my clip from yesterday, and we'll just chat about that real quick. So I'm going to take you on a little field trip into my dining room because I have a bone to pick with this blanket. This is the velvet blanket that is on my list of things to complete, and it is made with the Bernat velvet yarn. Very pretty, very soft. I really like this yarn, but if you guys have ever used this before, it's a gorgeous type of yarn and it's very soft, but working into it, especially for the pattern that I chose, is really difficult. So I chose a pattern that has crocheted cables in it, and it's not doing what it's supposed to. So I've picked this blanket up every once in a while and done a few rows, but it's a very intricate pattern and very detailed, and you have to work these cables the same way. And because I have picked it up every few years and worked a few rows here and there, it's very inconsistent, and I don't know that it's really showing up very well. I'm going to put it on the table and try to show you more, but it's just not very consistent with this stitching. It looks like somebody different did the last like 8 inches of this blanket, and it is uneven. I think I missed stitches. There's pieces like this throughout that are not supposed to be there. I don't know what that is, but they are pretty frequent throughout the blanket, especially on the first few rows. Like, I don't know what all of that is, but it should not be doing that. So for a bunch of different reasons, I have chosen to frog it. I've gotten this much of it done, and I do want to use this yarn for something. It'd be great for a blanket in the future that's not this stitch, because it's not doing the blanket pattern justice with this yarn, and it's very heavy, and I'm trying to think of future washing. I don't want to have to take this to a laundromat to wash, which it would end up getting to that point. It's so heavy, and it would end up being really big. And I also, with all of these things that are hanging out, I mean, I don't even know what that is. I mean, look at all that. I don't understand what happened with all of those random loops there, but that's not supposed to be in this blanket. So it's also, I mean, there's probably like 100 of them. They're all over the place on the front and the back. So for that reason, I am going to frog it. But let me know how heavy you think this is, and how many skeins I used. Each skein is 10.5 ounces. And I do have one partial skein here that I'm partway through, but I am dreading every time I see this one on my list of things to complete. I am dreading it, and I don't want to dread a project, especially because this is supposed to be fun. It was supposed to be, a nice decorative blanket in my room, and not happy with it, not content with it. I don't like the way that it's coming out with all these crazy loops. And I have decided what brings me the most joy and what got me excited to work on this today is frogging it. I don't know how many hours I put into this. It was quite a few, but quite a few frustrating hours. And the idea of getting rid of it and frogging it and never having to stitch on it again makes me really excited. So I am ready to move on, move past this, put this yarn into a different project that I'm excited to work on, and I can actually check it off my list of things to do. So we're going to work on that today. I am going to set up in my dining room. I'm going to start frogging this. Put in your vote of how much you think I used, how many skeins, because I cannot remember, or how many ounces. So each of those skeins is 10.5 ounces. I have a partially used one in here, and I don't know how many full ones I used. So put in your vote. I'm going to go frog this, and we're going to see how big of a cake I can make out of it, because that is a 10-ounce cake winder, and each of these skeins is 10 ounces. But I'm wondering, because it's bulky, if I can get more in there. So put your vote on how many cakes you think it's going to take for me to, how I'm going to wrap it as far as I can. Let me know your weight guess for this blanket and how many cakes you think I'll wind up. So let's get started on that and get this chaos out of my life. I'm so excited to move on from this blanket. It's been a thorn in my side for about 4.5 years. I think about that long, and I dread it every single time I look at it. So let's get rid of it. Okay, so I just want to look over this and show you guys why it is that I'm trying to, or why I'm wanting to frog it. So you can see this portion up looks like a different person did it. I'm going to show you the other side in a second, but I have a lot of issues with that. Look at how ripply this bottom section is. This is not how the blanket is supposed to look and lay, and I am just not happy with a lot of the things that are happening with this. There's a lot of loose pieces around here. There's a lot of loose, I'm not even sure what's going on with this. That's not how it's really supposed to be. So I'm just not happy with how it's turning out. Let me flip it over so you can see it. So it is a very pretty pattern. You can see the cables in here. It is very pretty. It's hard to see with this yarn, and I'm really just not happy with the way that it's turning out. And I think that this pattern would look great with some different kind of yarn where you can actually see your stitches, but I do feel like it's just not what I need this to be. It's also getting so heavy, and it's only that long, and it's very heavy. I'll weigh it so you guys can see how much it weighs, but it's pretty, but it's just, it looks better on camera than it does in person, but it's got too many things that I think need to be fixed. And this one has really just been hanging out for too many years for me to really want to jump in to do it. And see, I've got a lot of this stuff going on. I don't know what this is. This is the bottom of the blanket, and it's just not what I'm happy with. So very soft. It is pretty from far away, but once you get up close, there's a lot of things that are not great just because of these detailed stitches, like bigger holes here and there. Like I'm pretty sure I missed some stitches through here, and it is just not what I'm wanting for this blanket. So we're gonna frog it, and we're gonna weigh it and see how much yarn this actually is. And really my reason to frog it is just because I get frustrated every time I think about working on it. So we're gonna frog it. So I ended up with 2 skeins here. Very, very pretty, all wound up. This velvet yarn is gorgeous. I think that the color on it, like just the way that the light catches it, is so gorgeous. It's just blue, just a blue velvet, and it just catches the light so beautifully. So let's take a look at what the scale said when I weighed these two. So we had 2 skeins. One was smaller than the other. The first one, the reason I stopped was because it got snagged underneath the winder, and it actually broke the yarn. So that's why I just decided to stop there. But these are very solid cakes. Like, it is solid, and they are very hard, solid cakes. So very nicely wound on that cake winder. If you're interested in that cake winder, I do have it in my Amazon storefront. I'll put that in the description if you want to check it out. It's a 10-ounce winder, so it winds larger cakes than the smaller ones. I can't remember how much those wind, but they were never large enough for what I needed. Let me show you how much they weighed and see if your guess was accurate. So we got the 2 cakes. They were both different sizes. You know, I found at the end, and I don't know why, but at the end of this, or during this cake, the smaller cake, I found so many ends, and I don't know if it was originally in the skein like that, like it was wound like that from the store, but I had a lot of ends and a lot of ties in there. So I don't know what that was about, but this one has a lot of ends in there. But anyway, let's see how much it weighed and see how close your guess was. So was it close? Curious to know if you got it close. But anyway, I just want to go over the fact that it happens. You get started in a project and it's not going the way that you want it to go, and then it sucks the joy out of it to work on projects. Because I wake up in the morning and I go to work. I go and work on projects for items to share with you guys, to do tutorials on, to test out what I have written and see if it's accurate and see if that works well for a tutorial to share with you guys. So I do that in the morning, and getting these whips done was also on my list of things that I need to do. And then it became a massive chore to do these things that were supposed to be fun. They were supposed to be, you know, nice accessories around the house or whatever it is that what I wanted to use them for. And when it comes to that, I say, no matter how much time you have spent on it, if you're spending emotional, frustrated energy dealing with thinking about doing this, this is a craft that we're supposed to enjoy. If you're not enjoying it, tear it out. It's okay if you took time on it. It was most likely time that you spent on it, most likely was a very comforting, healing time until it started being frustrating, and then it no longer served its purpose. So it's okay to restart that. It's okay to tear it out and use the yarn for something else, or to gift the yarn to someone that might use it, or take that half-done project and donate it to someone, or give it to a friend and see if they want to complete it or finish it. Whatever it is that you want to do with that, or even thinking, I spent all this money on this yarn, but is it worth the frustration? If you spent all this money on it, is it worth the frustration continuing to work on something that frustrates you and makes your craft and your fun time frustrating? For me, it's not. And I don't know why I was letting this one hang on to me for years. 4 years, I think. I started it, I think, about 4 years ago, and it has just been hanging over my head, and I've been thinking, ugh, I don't want to do it, but I know that I'll want to use it after, and, you know, I know it would be comfy, and, you know, all these different things, but seeing all the flaws and everything else in it, seeing that it looked different from section to section, I was just like, I'm okay with it being gone, because right now, I'm thankful that I unwound it, that it got frogged, that it's okay. It's good. I'm happy now. And to tell you how happy I am, I started brainstorming all these other things that I could do instead of that. I'm so thrilled that that is no longer on my list, that I decided to frog it instead of continue working on it. And what do I have left on my list? Let's see. I have our Whip Wednesday. That will remain on our list until it's completed with our Wednesday, and I can only do so much because that's our Wednesday. So that one I do not count because it's a Wednesday thing and it's getting done on pace the way it's supposed to be getting done, serving its purpose and all that. And then I'm counting my bed runner as done because it just needs to get filmed, and that will obviously get done after our crochet along is done. And then this bag, I love it as a bag. I think it's so cute. I love the colors of it. All thrifted yarn. Love it so much. I do have this much of the thrifted yarn left. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Maybe I'll make another bag, but this is absolutely being considered done, and I don't need to think about what that yarn is going to do now because I have no active whips connected to that yarn. So I don't need to think about it. It's going to go back in my stash, and I'll figure that out another day when I feel like it. Now, other than the cross stitch thing, the only thing that I have left on my list is this crochet cardigan. So let me tell you my thoughts on this one. I've been doing some studying on tapered sleeved crochet cardigans, trying to see the best way that it is that I want to create this, how to make it inclusive for all sizes or majority of sizes, and see if it is possible to give the same instructions and share that with you for whatever your body size is. So I am using this Super Saver stripes, and I have stripes, and then I also have jumbo stripes, but it's this color. I love it. It is called what? Latte stripe. You know, Crochet with Coffee. Got to do something coffee related. This one is, I'm in study mode with this, trying to figure out if I can get the tapered sleeve idea the way that I want to, or if I'm going to do like a traditional idea for a tapered sleeve where you just make the body as far as you can. You do some seams in the back to fill in the gap for the other side, and then you fill in the remainder of the sleeve. You build the sleeve out and you build the bottom down, and then you put ribbing on it. And I'm just trying to see if I want to do something that is like a traditional thing like that, or if I want to do interesting stitches to decrease as you go to make it that the body is larger. I don't know if any of that is making sense. So this is in study mode still. So I'm not sure where this is going to go, but this is my only current whip. The other ones I'm not counting because they are in their current processes of things that they need to be in at the moment. So I don't count that. The only things I'm counting are the things that are within my power to get done as I want to get done. And even so, that one is in study mode. So I'm so thrilled with ideas of the things that I want to do. I want to make a big baggy hexagon cardigan. I want to make, I want to, I talked to my friend earlier today. I was like, do you want one of these? You want a hexagon cardigan? Pick out your color. Let me make it. And I'm just in like speed zone of how many things can I make? And I need to make sure that I am not going down the same route that I got myself into this by, of just starting a gazillion things and not finishing any of them. So I am being very strict with myself, saying I will start one and I will complete that one, and then I will work on to another one, because I get them done so quickly if I am solely focused on one project. So fun. So I have some crochet books. Actually, I have a knit book here too. I have some crochet garment books that I got off of Amazon. I'll put them in the storefront if you want to check them out. But look at this. Look at how cute those are. So I'm just chomping at the bit, trying to figure out what I want to start with first. There's a cardigan I want to start that is on my list of things that I wanted to do as soon as I got these whips done. And it is this really cute cardigan. I'll put it up on the screen because I cannot remember the name of it right now, but it is made with cotton yarn. And I don't really have a lot of cotton yarn. But then I realized I do have these kits that I got from Joann when they were closing that you can dye your own cotton yarn with like RIT dye. So it's like a little kit, and I have a bunch of cones of cotton yarn that was gifted to me. And I'm thinking, what if I took that yarn? Because they're colors that I wouldn't use. It's like bright green, bright yellow, like a that one that everybody used to use for dishcloths that's like a cream color with all those colored speckles in it. I love that, but I don't know that I want to use that specifically. So I was just thinking, what if I took those colors and I dyed them with the hues that I like? Because I like green, I like yellow and all of that, but I don't like them in those tones. So the RIT dye that I have the kits for are all like the fall colors, and I was like, that would be amazing. So I'm thinking I could dye yarn with you guys. My brain is going crazy of all the things that I could get done now that I'm, free from all these whips. I had no idea how frustrated I was about all of it. So this is here to encourage you to move past those whips. Either frog them or quickly finish them and get them out of your life. Move on to something new. So if you have hoarded whips and they bother you, here's your encouragement to go get that done. But anyway, back to these. I am so excited to move on to working on something new. I'm trying to get good pictures of these. Like, look at that one. So this is like a beginner's guide, and it shares some different fun information, like picking out your colors, how often to wash them, choosing yarn for it. I'm excited to dive into that one. I think this is adorable with that like speckled yarn. So cute. All right, so here is another crocheted one, and they are modern crochet sweaters. And look at how cute that design is. Let me show you a couple of these just to pique your interest. I saw some of these that just looked adorable. Look at that one. It's a nice long one. It's like chunky yarn. This one. So cute. Look at this one. Isn't that cute? Off the shoulder. Super cute. There's lots of really cute patterns in here that I am very interested to check out and look through. And then this one was from Michael's. I was there the other day. I wanted to use my 25 or 30% off, and they don't work on books, so I just ended up getting it. But these are simple knits. Look at how cute that pattern is. I just feel like that would be super easy because it's like a chunky yarn and nice and comfy. That seems like a loungy, like a really cute loungy sweater. This one, cute. And it says easy, so I might be able to do it. We'll find out. Let's see if there's, I thought there was one other in here that I liked. This one, it's got pockets. How cute is that? They're just so comfy looking. So anyway, another book that I'm excited to dive into and check out some different patterns. The other day, a few weeks ago, I shared with you that I got some crochet hooks. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about what I found with those and my personal preference. So this was the one that I shared with you that I loved the look of, and I bought it. It is an inline hook, and I am not used to using these. They do not, they split the yarn when I use them. So I'm not a good candidate for testing this one out, but I got it because of the handle, because I really like the look of it, and it was adorable and cute. So I did get it for that reason. I'll use it, but it's inline is just not my favorite because, see if I can get it to focus, because of that sharp point on the end of the hook. It just grabs my yarn funny and it always splits it. So I don't know what my problem is with that, but if you like inline hooks, I think that this is a nice one because it really fits nicely in your hand. It's got that thicker handle. I know that the reviews on this one didn't seem like they were great, but there's nothing that snags here, and my yarn never goes past that point anyways. So I haven't had any issues as far as that goes. My biggest issue is just because it's an inline hook, and that is a me thing. There's plenty of people that love inline hooks, so I like that one. The next one that I had from that day was a pack of 3, and I got this pack because it was the same price for 1 as it was for 3, and I wanted this 7mm hook. This is a tapered hook. This is the kind that I like. So the reason I got this one because it was a 7mm and I was having trouble finding any other 7mm. So I found this one, and it was a 3-pack. It had different sizes, and it was like a 5, 6, and 7, I think. But this one is nice. The 5 and 6, the reason I would not choose this one over my other ones, like this is, let me see, where's my regular? So this is the regular hook that I use from Hobby Lobby. It's a bamboo hook. I just really love those handles. And the reason I didn't like this hook as much is because I like the thickness of the hook in the base of the handle, and that one tapers off, and that's where I need it the most because of where my fingers need more grip, because I used to do cake decorating and cookie decorating, and it was a lot of strain on my hand. I had to go to physical therapy for it and all that jazz. And because of that and all the muscles that I had used for that, it's easier for me to have something that has a thicker handle on where my ring and my pinky are. And this one just didn't give me that shape that I needed for my fingers. So for me, I will use this one for a 7mm when I need it, because sometimes I need that. But for comfort wise, it would not be my go-to for the normal sizes that I use. So when I buy hooks, I try to keep that in mind, that the thickness of the end of the hook is what is really important to me. So then I have this one where the thickness is at the end is still about the same as this one, and it's a little bit longer. So this one, I do really like this one because of the size of the handle, and I feel like it is about the same feel at the end there, and it is a little bit longer, so that's really nice. This one I got as a pack. I'll put all of these in the storefront so you can check them out, but this one came in a pack with multiple sizes, and it was very inexpensive for what you got. And the fact that I can actually use them without pain in my hand is really helpful. So I like that. And now, let's see, this one I got for that reason. But I don't know why. It's too short. This one's too short because I'm used to the longer handles. So then the handle right there cuts off too early. So then my pinky is almost all the way off when I hold it. So it's just not what I need it for, but I liked the idea of the size of that hook. If you like a shorter hook with a handle, this is a really nice one. These are all actually, this one kind of looks like it is in between an inline. Focus. Can it focus? It's in between an inline and a tapered almost. So as far as working goes, this one was nice, and it has some weight to it because of it being a wooden handle, but just not as long as I prefer it to be. Now I do have this one. This is an off-brand that is supposed to be kind of like the Furls hook, I believe. It's all metal. It's heavy. And it is also an inline. So again, I don't care for that style just because for me it doesn't work well. But in your hand, it does seem to feel very nice, but it's heavy. So if you like the heavier handled hooks, this might be a good one for you. Especially if you want an option that is not as expensive as the furl hooks, but you want the same idea as that. I've never used furl, so I can't give you a comparison of the two together and what the comparison is between them, but just throwing that out there. All right, so another tip that I wanted to give you guys is when you are having struggles with your hooks needing more to them so that it's a better handle for you to hang on to. Like I said, I typically go for these. They're the Hobby Lobby hooks that are the bamboo hook or the bamboo handle hooks. And I adapt them some days because last week I did have some pain down my arm and in my hand, so it was hard for me to continue working with the hooks and not have some pain. So these are some things I do instead of using the hooks like that. So I take the this bandage, I don't remember what it's called. This one is like the Walmart brand, but it's like that bandage, that wrap bandage that's sticky. So the bandage wraps that you just wrap up and then you can cut, but it's that kind of stuff, and it sticks to each other. It sticks to itself. And so I take that. It's not pretty, and it does get a little bit worn, and you can tell where your hands are touching, so ignore that part. But I wrap that around the hook. I just take it and just wrap it around as thick as I want it to be, and that gives a little bit extra thickness to the handle. So if I'm struggling with my grip being painful or something, I do that. Another thing is these little things that you can add to your hook handle. This is just meant for an actual like metal hook. And then there's like these little caps that go on the hook to keep it inside of this. But I just took my bamboo handle and I just put it in there, so it's permanently in here. I'm not getting it out. But this one, I have this one for my 5.5 that's wrapped, and then I have this one for my 5mm. So depending on the day or the project or whatever it is that I'm working on, I have these two different handles. So that significantly helps with my grip when my hands are in pain, or, you know, my whatever it is, my fingers. And so does that one. It's not pretty. This one looks terrible. You can cover it with some duct tape, some pretty duct tape if you wanted to, but it does the job. It works well for me. Sometimes I cut off that little extra that sits on the end, make it less strange. But yeah, those are some extra things that I thought would be helpful to share. Other than that, I think we covered most things. I know on my Wednesday episode, I did chat a little bit with you about possibly getting ready to do lives at some point. I don't know when that will be. I don't know what days I'll pick, but I would like it to be a consistent schedule so you guys know when it's going to happen. And I don't know when, what days, what times. I have no idea, but I'm throwing that idea out there to get the idea flowing, to see what you guys are thinking as far as, would you be excited for lives? To be involved in that? Would you like to watch the replays? A lot of things that I have heard are, yes, you'd like the lives, and also that you're not crazy about lives, but you'd watch the replay. So either one is good with me. Whatever you guys are there for, whatever you're up for, is great with me, because I have some fun topics that I wanted to talk about on them. I really wanted to do like a crochet would you rather on it, to like fill in the gaps here and there. If you guys are, you know, if we have some like lull time where nobody's chatting, or we don't really have a topic to talk about, I was thinking it would be really fun to do crochet would you rather. I have a list of them because I thought that that would be a really fun idea to go over. So just throwing that out there. And then also the other thing I talked about on Wednesday is possibly getting my brain wrapped around starting a shop for Crochet.With.Coffee. So I have so many created items that, you know, I've made, and they're in storage containers and totes and everything. So I was thinking maybe we should open an online store. So I was getting your thoughts on that one. And like, I have zero idea how to price anything, and you guys gave some really great helpful information on resources and different avenues of the way that you think that pricing would work well. So thank you for your suggestions. Keep them coming. And as far as that goes, I don't have a specific time thought through as far as that goes. It's still in the mulling it around stage. So possible future shop for Crochet.With.Coffee. We'll see how that goes. All right, so I do want to give a shout out for our hug in a mug from this week, and it is from Janine. And Janine says, "Hi from California. I just discovered your channel and love it. Your gentle spirit and thoughtful explanations are a gift. Loved the closet workspace redo. You've inspired me to make one. Please keep the videos coming. Thank you." Janine, thank you so much for your kind words. That is so, so sweet of you. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad you're enjoying the channel. I'm so glad that the workspace and the craft area inspired you to do something for yourself. That is so fun and so exciting. So thank you so much for your hug and a mug. It means so very much. Hi friends, so I was just in the middle of doing some editing and I just received a super thanks from one of our viewers on our Magic Knot video. So Christine, thank you so much for that lovely gift. That was so thoughtful of you, and I just wanted to give you a shout out while I just saw that come in. So thank you so much for that. So as always, I hope you have a wonderful day and I hope you find joy in the little things.